Let's show them we can rise from ash. Jade, Lavender, and Scarlet Phoenix power. Together we will rise. They tried to burn us, we bloom like a flower. They didn't know we had a Phoenix's power. Phoenix power.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Jade Phoenix. We're here. We're back. And I'm actually not alone, as usual. I am with the Crimson. And, of course, I'm with the Lavenders.
It all started when I was
Hello,
born.
all.
Hello.
What's going on,
I think
everybody?
you're doing great. A lot, but that's okay. Sometimes we have some battles. I love that meme. I feel like I've become that meme where it's like, I don't need to be God's strongest soldier anymore. Hire someone else. If that's
Yeah.
like, that's how I feel like currently. So, like, that's why I'm very excited. I always have the gate to come back to. and my friends to
Emotional
chat with.
damage.
I mean, yeah, the gate is home.
Very, very true. And it helps even that all out, you know?
Mm-hmm. I'm actually in a different nest today,
Yep.
guys.
I know, it's so exciting.
I am actually
Yeah.
coming to you live from Mid-Island Collectibles, which we talk about every single week, about where we have the shop, and a bunch of our other friends are here. And I'm actually physically in the store right now doing this podcast.
Nice.
I think that's so awesome. And even better to be like, you guys should come and check us out.
I mean, yeah. Hello. I don't
There's
understand.
always tons of exciting things happening.
Yeah.
There's so many exciting things. I mean, honestly, when this episode comes out, it will be the end of May. Yo, can you believe it's almost June?
Crazy, wild fucking work, man.
Like,
That's all I
seriously.
can say.
Seriously, we're in Gemini season. We're heading into the middle of the year. I can't believe that half of 2025 is already gone. Number one. Number two, we have two events this weekend. Me and Lavender will be heading out to the cryptid zoology. We're having a safari in Prospect Park. And then on Sunday, the Phoenix Gate will be at the Long Island Horror market. The Route 110, I believe it's the Route 110 bingo hall out in Sayreville.
Unfortunately, I actually won't be at the cryptid walk just because of all the crazy things happening, but I will be there in spirit.
Well, that's news
Yeah.
to me. Okay. I stand corrected. You're lying! I lied. Lavender won't be there.
No, sorry, y'all. I need to get some things organized. So unfortunately, I have to make some concessions and focus on, unfortunately, real life things for that weekend.
But either way, we'll still be at the Long Island Horror. I'll still be at the cryptid meetup. Next week, we have Moonlight Market. So the Phoenix Gate will be in attendance to one of our favorite markets of all time, Moonlight Market. And as always, you can come in 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. here at the Broadway Mall to Mid-Island Collectibles.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da. So,
I think that's a very, very exciting send off. And don't forget, folks, I know that Jade is always doing our Magic the Gathering nights, which I've heard have been very, very successful over there. So you won't want to miss out.
Thursday nights, starting at 6 o'clock until whenever. Because we do not, even though the mall closes at 8, we don't. So,
Nice.
We'll continue to welcome your weird and wild. That's all that matters, no matter what time of night it be.
Yeah.
So, what about you, Crimson? Any things to tell the masses, tell the Phoenix Nation?
I guess besides all those other things, I mean, we are over at QXT's. We're actually going to be having the Iron Garden this month over on Friday.
Oh,
So
yeah.
when
Wait, aren't I doing something at
just as a
Iron Garden?
reminder, because I'm. Yes, you are. But I'm trying to remember because I'm debating. I don't know if by the time this comes out, if it will be
Comes
on
out the day of.
after or the day of. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So for those who don't know, QXTs usually has an event at the last Friday of every month. Over at QXTs, we have the Iron Garden. We're going to be essentially having our lovely Jade doing a presentation on one of our courts there. So trying to remember, my goodness, today's been a busy day, so I'm like running a blank on the topic name. Do you remember what it is?
Fairies.
Well, fairies, but there was a specific name to the topic. I don't remember what it was. But yeah, so fairy stuff.
Fairies, hedge witchery,
but,
green witch stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So pretty much around that ballpark range.
Yeah.
For the topic that she will be discussing. And I think which I always find it weird when we have like almost like a full set of like 5 weeks almost in a month.
I know. We're
Um,
doing that again in July.
Next month. Really?
Yeah, July has 5 Fridays.
Holy shit. So yeah. Excuse me. So yeah, next month we're going to be having it same thing as every month, last Friday of the month. In June, it will be.
I believe that
Sorry,
would be the
just trying to pull up my calendar.
29th, maybe? I believe it's the 29th.
No, actually, it's the 26th.
Oh, well, I was
So
close.
actually, no, I'm getting it confused. Actually, not 5 weeks. The week after, which is July, that is damn near 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Or 5 Fridays, I should say.
I know.
The June doesn't. June only has 4. But regardless, so we'll be having it at the end of the month, last Friday, which, like Jade said, it would be on the 26th. So yeah, if you guys are not able to come here this Friday for May, we always have next month also as well.
Yeah. And it's a good time. It's honestly, it's one of the best goth clubs in the tri-state area. And even when the court itself is done, we can still all hang out and dance and just enjoy ourselves immensely, as we always do at QXTs.
Yeah, and there's also, feel free to also check out any other events that Q's has as well.
Exactly. Q's has a lot of good events.
Yeah.
Q's has a lot of good events. Like we went to emo night. It was a great fucking night.
Yep.
Yes, that was amazing. The music fucking slapped. The drinks were great. It was a great escapism vibe. I think we all kind of need that these days.
I'm at
As
half
much as we
mast.
can.
I need to hear this.
Yes. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And you want to know what the great thing about QXTs is you can be as spooky, scary as you want to be. And that's great considering what it is that we are talking about tonight.
Yes.
We
yeah.
are building on what we talked about last week. If you haven't checked out our episode from last week, we were talking about the renaissance that has become the horror genre in movies. And in that episode, we discussed that video games needs an entire episode to itself because they are such a powerhouse. And honestly, my personal opinion, it was the video games that we got that were able to give us the renaissance of horror that we have now.
Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, there's even like some very big key points or key games, I would say, probably a better term to use.
Yeah.
That we can even say is, plays a huge role or a big part within the history of that too.
Yeah. Horror games hit different than horror movies because you're not just watching the bad decisions, you are the bad decision. A movie will literally making them. A movie literally says, "Don't open the basement door." A horror game goes, "Press X to descend into the meat tunnel." It's like,
and then you can't really do it without pressing that button.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You know, it's funny too. I've actually been I've finally gotten my hands on, and this is also going to be one of our big key franchises. We're going to say franchises because it's not just one game; it's multiple games.
Yeah.
The Resident Evil game, Requiem. Finally got my hands on it
Oh boy.
after being. I'm gonna throw Amazon under the bus for a quick second.
Please do.
That
Fuck
was
Jeff
me over.
Bezos. Fuck Jeff Bezos.
Please do it.
For fucking me over on my deluxe edition copy.
Yeah.
And now had to go ahead and get a regular one. Would have
The
loved
horror.
that steelbook, but you know, it is what it is.
The horror.
Anyway. I managed to get my hands on the more recent Resident Evil game. I know there's some people that had their opinions, and they're valid ones too,
That's rough.
on kind of like the split experience on the game.
Yeah.
Some people are kind of sick of the first person perspective, but you can always change that if you wanted to, which I did. Mainly just because of I like to keep it to the original.
Yeah.
But I guess just speaking on the Resident Evil franchise itself, I mean, heck, I think Resident Evil is one of those games that kind of, I don't know if revolutionized would be the right word to use, like the zombie genre.
Well, you
of
need to
horror.
understand, Resident Evil is it literally came out in 1996. It was published by Capcom for the original PlayStation. And we have talked ad nauseum on this show about how the video game systems have evolved throughout the years. Like, this literally established that whole survival horror series, because I mean, like, you have to mention, if you are going to go in classic, and we are talking about this, obviously, you have to mention Fatal Frame, you have to mention Silent Hill. You know, this is literally, this game has been around for 30 years. Like, Resident Evil franchise is not going away anytime soon. And there are so many things that have spawned from this game. This literally introduced survival horror into the mainstream video games, and I will hear no evil about, and no bad talks about Resident Evil. It's not, no, I'll fight you.
I love Resident Evil. Like, granted, like, as much as I love video games, I don't play a lot of video game franchises.
No, you
But I
don't.
do love Resident Evil. Like, for me, it's one of those things that, like, I also love how it's changed.
Yes.
Because, to your point, Crimson, I do feel it's always been survival horror, but it didn't necessarily start as, like, zombie survival horror. It kind of took on that power as the zombie kind of themes were becoming very popular in horror, kind of like what we're talking about with horror cinema
Mhm.
and how it continues to evolve for like what's happening now. So for me, and this might be an unpopular opinion, I was so happy when they finally shifted away from zombie with my personal favorite, which is Resident Evil Village. I love that they kind of went back to their very like broad horror roots and
Yeah.
with more complex creatures. And it's not saying that the zombie era of Resident Evil isn't fucking awesome.
No.
But I love that, like horror movies, it evolves with what's happening within the scene and what's happening like within our modern world.
Well, yeah.
Well, that I can. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, you know, the whole game was based on, obviously, like, the first game you play, the very first Resident Evil, you were either Chris Redfield or Jill Valentine. You had to play as both. There was no one person plays as this or you choose whatever. You had to get through the story.
Yeah.
You had to play as both. And you have to, like, they're obviously, they're a member of the Elite Stars. They're investigating murders near Raccoon City, and that uncovers the Umbrella Corporation and their laboratory experiments who created, you know, the nightmare that is zombie-infested Spencer Mansion. And then the branching storylines and multiple endings depend on your player choices and if you survive at all. So it's like there was no fixed game story. There was, but you had to get there, and everything you did affected it. That was like the first of its kind. There was no other game that did that.
Yeah. And to kind of we'll kind of talk or go back on that thing that you did mention, by the way, Lavender, on the what was the term? You were mentioning about the different, um, I guess, kind of story shift
Yes.
when it came to the whole like zombie thing. Yes and no, because I know a lot of like the background parts to it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of this stems is because it's different antigens of the virus, and they each have their own what's the word I'm trying to look for? My goodness.
Mutagen.
Not mutagen, it's
Turtles
origin.
reference. Tutors.
Each one has its own place of origin. Like, for instance, I believe when it came to the
original was the
village,
T virus.
the original was T virus, but there was actually some that were natural, not unnatural,
Right.
viruses. Which some of them were parasites. I believe that might have been. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I think that might have been 4. 4 was a parasite, I believe.
I believe that you're talking.
Then,
I believe 4 was the parasite. You know who would really know the entire everything about Resident Evil is a big shout out to our Scarlet. This is her wheelhouse, and I wish that we had gotten her on today, but she had to work, unfortunately. So because she would have a fucking, oh my god, Scarlet would be just, the hyperfixation station would just take off at 30,000 miles per hour, and we would never be able to get her to stop, and I'm living for it. But yeah, no, you're right.
Kind of getting back on that subject, there is different. Technically they're not zombies, but they are, and it's like it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
They're like kind of the best way is just honestly using Resident Evil terms. They're just BOWs, like all of them. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
One way or another, they're all like made, or at least purposely made.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. And I think an amendment of my statement is when I was saying more zombie focused, I meant kind of like first person shooter zombie focus.
Yeah.
Versus horror scares.
Yeah.
So that's on me for not like clarifying that.
Are you talking about more in third person view, like how the other ones were, or is what perspective are you?
Well, you got to understand.
That change things.
You guys got to understand, like the gameplay and the mechanics of this game were different because it was like Resident Evil gave you fixed camera angles. You couldn't look around, tank style movement, pre-rendered backgrounds, like you had very little ammunition, very little health. You had to do all sorts of fucking puzzles. And then on top of that, you had limited save opportunities. It's not like you could just hit the start button and save your game. You had to be able to with an ink ribbon. Yeah. Like, so this was very intricate, very much so that like you had to know what the fuck you were doing, and every single time, like, no, like that game started it all, and it only continued as, like we talked about, the systems evolved, the games evolved, the mechanics evolved, the stories evolved, and I love that Resident Evil was able to not just evolve in all these ways, but it was able to build upon its own lore and then still be able to circle back and keep true to the source material.
Yeah. I mean, they did kind of do with the more recent one, they kind of did like a mix of both, actually.
Which is amazing.
I love that.
Which, again, I'm not against it. There are some people that are just like purists, and they start just like, why are we doing this whole first person thing? I don't like it. I'd rather keep it a third. I'm like, I like it. It's okay. Do I prefer the third person? Mainly, yes, because of, I don't know. I like seeing the character.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like, if I'm, it's Grace, we're playing as Grace.
Yeah.
This isn't like just like how it was with Ethan when it came to Village and
Ethan's freaking hands.
Oh, poor Ethan.
like his weird. Oh my god! You know what's funny? I actually saw an animation on that on Ethan, and like how he does his healing animation where he just pours goo all over his hands just to heal himself.
I can't.
It's nightmare fuel because he's just looking so blank faced because obviously they did the game in first person, so his face is not animated in any way. So
Yeah.
but yeah, like I personally like the third person, and also I like it because of, again, if you're changing costumes or anything like that too, which I kind of like doing that, you know, because when you get those extra little DLC bonuses, you kind of like seeing the costume.
Yeah, if I'm gonna unlock something, I want to be able to see that when I'm using it.
Yeah, not just on cutscenes.
Yeah,
but that's like a whole different reason like behind it. And also, I don't know, it's more just because it also gives me a good feeling, especially when it comes to another franchise, which is the Dead Space franchise.
we'll get.
I heard they're so good.
The Dead Space franchise, I hear, is very, very good. Yes.
I'd arguably say it was definitely one of those big staple games that definitely revolutionized the horror genre within games.
I don't
Because I will say
disagree with
this.
you, but you skipped ahead by almost 10 years.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying. I'm not. Obviously, there are other games too. But
Yeah,
I'm just
I
saying
mean-
in terms of third-person perspective.
Yeah. In third person
it's
perspective, I'm not
definitely
going to.
up there.
Yeah. But we're like, that was from
And then we
2008.
also- yeah, but we also do have other games too as well, which are, you were mentioning the Silent Hill series, which is also a really good one.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Some of them are kind of, I don't know, I guess based off of majority. I think otherwise, mainly just because it's just like, it was good. It wasn't terrible. I've played terrible games before.
well, here's the thing. Silent Hill
which I
kind of
think it
went.
was the third.
Silent Hill kind of went in a different direction than Resident Evil because this is psychological
Yeah.
horror.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Like Lavender was saying, like they went. There are so many different ways to give you the horror, as Lavender was saying last in our podcast last week. That there are so many different levels of horror, and what I love about the video games that we got that helped push what I think is best. Yes, Silent Hill is still considered a survival horror game, but this is more psychological. That where I would say that Resident Evil is a little bit more gore. What
And
do
if we
What do you?
kind of doubling back at Dead Space really quick, that actually, believe it or not, I mean, have you played I don't remember. Did you ever play the Dead Space series or no?
I have not. Lavender, have you played
I
it?
haven't either. I haven't either. I've just heard really good stuff about it.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people have told me that I would like it because I love Alien Isolation. Like that's my all-time favorite horror game.
That one was also a very good one. I think Alien Isolation, that one came afterwards, if I'm not mistaken. Correct?
Did. It did.
Yeah, that
so
was
that's why
more.
people always
That was
tell
more in
me
the
to play Dead Space because they're like, "Oh, you
2010,
love Alien
right?
Isolation? Check out Dead Space."
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
completely. Yeah. So,
what I was gonna say is when it came to the reason why I brought up Dead Space 2, not 2 the game, but Dead Space in general, that also does have good amounts of levels of my goodness, psychological horror. It has actually a mix of both very heavily, actually, which is
yeah.
actually one of the reasons why a lot of people give it such praise the way that they do. And the process in which they actually went about creating the game was also, in and of itself, I think, also horror. I don't know if you guys heard anything about that by chance or no.
About what?
In the production of the game, what the artists had to do.
For Dead Space?
Mm-hmm.
No.
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. So this one, you guys are gonna get a good treat out of this.
Oh boy.
They actually, after they were done, they had to get therapy after making this game. Actually,
Therapy?
like everyone needed therapy after making this game because when it came to the artists, especially in particular, they had to look at images of people who died in car crashes.
Oh.
And we're talking about not just, and we're not even talking about just like a a limp body that just is intact. We're talking about like mutilated, like pretty bad. Like that's how bad. Yeah, you're already like Jade's already laughing because he knows what I'm talking about.
No, I'm
Like,
laughing because I've
we're talking
seen
about-
that.
No, exactly that. But that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about. So exactly my point.
Oh my God.
So you know how bad it is if people who are not used to that, right? And they
Right.
really had to do that in order to create the creatures that we know today within that franchise.
They had to do that just to create that whole video game. That's sick. That's
yeah.
like that's like
The
sitting somebody to
first one.
that is like some fucking bullshit where they like fucking Clockwork Orange where you're forced to sit in a chair and your eyes are held open and you're just fed images of death of just the worst fucking shit. Those poor people.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Like, it was bad. It was
Holy
really bad.
shit.
Like, I think that someone wrote like a whole article on it or something.
I believe
as
it.
Well, I remember I read it,
Interesting.
but it was bad. It was bad, but hey, it created. Grant, prayers to everybody, all the artists that did work on that,
Well-
and hopefully they're all doing okay.
We
but
wish them well.
They did create something. Oh yeah, of course. I'm not gonna be an asshole and be like, they'll be okay. No,
I mean,
no,
you
like,
could be an asshole. You're kind of an asshole. You're
I
definitely
could,
you definitely
but
an
I'm
asshole.
not. In this case, no.
A little bit. A little bit. You're a little bit of an asshole.
No.
Yeah.
But it's just more you could see the amount of work that was put into it, which is insane. And it came out, to the level that we got where it's a good hybrid mix between the two different genres, like we were just discussing, between psychological and zombie or more physical gore horror, which at the time of release, that game was pinnacle of gore. Like it was. We really wanted to get into it. Like,
well,
I think
you skipped
I'd
over a
arguably
whole
say it
bunch
had
of
the most
fucking
blood.
games, Crimson.
I know we're gonna be jumping back. We don't have to go on the same timeline.
How dare you?
We're going back to other ones.
How dare you? These games
We can
deserve
double
their
back.
fucking due, and you are just going off about this
Where
goddamn
we
game series.
are-
No, so you shut up and you listen about how you give these other games their respect, sir. How dare you?
We are going to. We're just not going in order.
I'm going to order you to go in order. No, it's
All
fine.
right.
It's
But,
fine. It's fine.
But yeah. But no, like when it comes to that, I mean, you could tell when they were creating that game that Dave took stuff from previous old games. Like it's not just like, oh, brand making. They made a masterpiece off of just the backs of the horror genre.
Okay.
Like, and a couple of the masterpieces too. I mean, we can even add a couple in there from older generations. We're talking about like PlayStation 1 too. Like there was another one besides Resident Evil, but I believe
Silent Hill, Fatal Frame.
Nightmare Creatures.
What-
Nightmare Creatures as well. You got to give that one its credit.
Yeah, you do.
Nightmare Creatures. It's not like everyone knows it type of game, but it is one of those games that I think they had three. I believe it's 3 games.
Nightmare Creatures?
Nightmare Creatures.
I don't know if they
that's
had
a
3 games.
very-
They may have all been indie though. Those may have all been from indie.
I don't believe so.
Okay,
'Cause,
then double
they
check
were-
my shit. Like I'm pretty sure Nightmare Creatures was
Yeah,
an indie released game, and that became popular, and that finally got
Let's
picked up by a company. But you have all that fun stuff, and then you have Silent Hill, you have Fatal Frame, you have all these.
That too, yep.
Yeah, I mean you have Phasmophobia, Lethal Company, Five Nights at Freddy's.
They do have 3.
I love Five Nights at Freddy's. That stuff is my shit.
Yeah, Poppy's
I love
Playtime.
those games.
So
Like,
let's see.
But this also like bleeds into like the next conversation that I want to talk about, and is the YouTube streamer era. You know, that's also really heavily influenced horror in video games. Like games became performative.
Yeah.
You know, like
Really
they
has.
they did, and then you got to understand, like they had streamer bait, they had TikTok moments, they had audience participation, they had jump clips. Fear became social, and it's like digital seance with a voice chat and bad financial decisions.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
Go ahead, Lavender.
Sorry,
What
did
were you
want
going to
throw this
say?
in
that's
there
all right.
because-
I would think
yeah.
a lot of YouTube really created the big boom around horror games. Like, as we've talked many times about Markiplier on this show,
Yeah.
specifically about Iron Lung, which is a great example of a horror game
Yeah.
that was able to gain notoriety because, and it's not saying Iron Lung isn't a great game, but because Markiplier put it on his platform and brought it up to the place where it eventually got to the point where people were spending hard-earned money to not only get the game, but to then see a big screen adaptation of it. The same goes for Five Nights at Freddy's. And I mean, Five
Yep.
Nights at Freddy's constantly goes ahead and really honors the people that helped it grow. Like, for example, the movie adaptations. They had Jacksepticeye in the movie
Yep.
adaptation. They
Yep.
had him voicing one of our animatronic friends.
That is true.
So it really makes sense the way that horror games have come to like immortalize YouTube even within their own culture.
I'll be right
Because they know that they really help push them forward. Like even something as simple as watching Markiplier, like there are so many indie games that I know about because Markiplier did really engaging run-throughs of them.
Yeah.
Like I just recently started playing with my partner their Hello Neighbor, which I knew nothing about until Markiplier
yeah.
and some other YouTubers did walkthroughs. And I was like, wow, this is actually something that'd be totally up my alley. It's puzzle heavy. It's first person, like kind of survivalist, but in a way that's really unique and different. And I would have known nothing about it if random YouTubers didn't just say, hey, this is a fun jump scare game. Let's go and play it and have our audiences participate.
Yeah, like let's not get
I
it
almost feel
twisted.
like-
YouTube really,
Yeah.
really gave us a lot of access to games that we may not necessarily have known about because these YouTubers did these run throughs. Like also games that I probably would have been like, I seen on the shelf and would have been like, you know, and just not wanted to play because that wasn't my series. You know what I mean? Like I said, Resident Evil and Silent Hill, that's my series. I never would have given some of these other games a second look because I would have been like, they're probably just a knockoff of everything else.
Oh,
Also,
a million percent.
Also, just want to throw a side note there, by the way, Jade. When you were asking about Nightmare Creatures, it was actually owned by a company, not an indie. Like it was actually, they had different headquarters stationed in the U.S., UK, and Japan.
Oh, well,
They were acquired by. But you were right; they were acquired by another company, which was Ubisoft, because the company went out of business, and they never really officially like came out and canceled it. They kind of quietly canceled it. And that was back in 2004. That it was supposed to be like released in 2003.
Yeah.
But that was around the time that the Callisto company or Callisto Entertainment, that was the original owners of the franchise. They kind of like quietly, after they acquired it from Callisto, they kind of quietly canceled it since I guess maybe there just wasn't a plan for it. They have the rights to it still to this day. So if they ever wanted to bring it back up, they could. But that game was a pretty decent one.
Is this Crimson's silent plea to the video game gods for them to bring the series back and give us a fourth installment?
No. The third never was released.
Oh, so then
it was.
Are you asking I will amend my statement. Are you asking the video game gods to grant you a third installment?
No, but a remake would be nice. And then they could maybe do an installment for the
How
third.
dare you, remakes? Remakes, no. That is sacrilege.
Listen, believe it or not, no. If they're done right,
If they're done right, but
If
when have
they're
you ever
done
seen? When have you
right.
ever seen a remake done right?
Resident Evil 2.
All right, fine. I will concede that point. But tell me another one besides Resident Evil 2, motherfucker.
Dead Space remake.
Was there a remake?
Yeah,
There
the
was.
first one was remade. That I
The
did
first
know.
one was remade, and it was peak because they even added extra lore to that story, which is amazing.
Ooh.
Mhm.
And isn't he finally voiced? Like, because wasn't Isaac a silent character in most of the Dead Space games until the remake?
No, he was. So when it came to the first game, yes, he
Okay. Yeah,
really,
that's what I'm thinking.
unless he was talking to people, which eventually everyone just started dying, and he was literally by himself the whole fucking time.
So
The
was
only time that he would even talk to anyone is if they were still alive.
Jesus Christ.
Valid.
And even then, so there were still like chunks in between where it was just silence and it's just the background noises of like all the fucking horrors of going on in the Ishimura.
Okay. So like, okay, I have a question.
But yeah.
I have a question. Psychological horror versus monster horror. Monster horror is obviously what's considered zombies, mutants, slashers, the big ugly thing in the hallway, you know.
Swap Man.
Right. Then you have the psychological horror, which is grief, isolation, guilt, existential dread, memory distortion. But when these two come together and create an unholy baby,
Oh yeah.
would you say that is Dead Space?
Very much.
So there you
Oh
go.
yeah.
So Dead
Because
Space is an unholy
people who
baby that
don't-
combines both.
Yeah, because believe it or not, because of that, well, first off, for those who don't know, I'm just going to briefly describe it. So if you guys, anyone out there who's interested, has never played it and are interested in playing it, there is this one thing that's called the marker. I'm not going to go into any specifics on it because, again, I'm not trying to spoil anything. That marker is essentially what causes people to go crazy. And that's all I'm going to say on that marker.
Okay.
That also, in the same process, causes people to hallucinate.
Ooh, hallucinations.
That ship that Isaac is on picked up a marker from one of the planets it was digging on. That essentially was causing a lot of people on the ship to go insane and causing Isaac to go fucking batshit and start hallucinating people who he thought was still alive, but they're not. And just people in general that maybe have already died and he knows they're dead, but then they just attack him psychologically, or the marker does. And I'm not going to specify as to what happens if the marker succeeds in its psychological attacks. Because again, spoilers, not doing that.
No, we don't do that in this house.
If you're interested in knowing, if you're interested in finding out, play the damn game. It's worth it.
You're a monster.
You're a monster.
But yeah,
But
I mean, that's honestly the best I could describe is for both.
Yeah, but like then to go back into it, it is also like now I'm talking about like going, we're going to circle back where like I thought that what you were talking about was an indie game. Indie horror is I believe it's the number one in video games right now. Like you can't sit there and tell me that it's not. Indie devs, they get weird in the best fucking way, bro. Like,
oh yeah, but that's also the thing too, because they're not trapped by CEOs or investors. Be like, oh, you got to follow trends. They're willing to take the risks for those games, which is why we get a lot of the good games that we have today.
Yeah, that's just exactly what I was about to say. But thank you for saying it. Thank you for saying it for me. Thank you so very much for saying that for me.
Listen, we're on the same wavelength.
Yes,
Okay.
we are. What about you, Lav? Do you agree that indie horror kind of dominates a little bit more than I would say the mainstream games that we get? Like, again, no shade to the franchises, but indie horror.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, like, we have to always remember that a lot of games that are now franchises, at least within the last, like, 10, 15 years, started as indie games. Like, Five Nights at Freddy's was an indie game. Poppy's Playtime is an indie game that is now getting, like, broadband recognition. And I think that's what really solidifies a lot of interesting ideas in horror.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially playing Hello Neighbor. I personally didn't know that there were 3 other games in the series at that point. But playing it now, it's interesting to me what things have really kind of were built into this original indie horror game that now permeate across newer games that are coming out. As I remember correctly, it was one of the first games that started using very early ideas of AI.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially what it did was it created this house that you need to break into and save someone who's trapped in a basement in your creepy neighbor's house. And then the idea became every time you try to get into the house and you get caught, and like a back end engine builds a new house within the game.
Really?
It randomizes it pretty much.
Yeah, so every time you play,
Oh my God.
it curates it based on what you did to get into the house and or what steps you took. So like
And
I had to sit there.
Them too.
Exactly. So if you have one specific tactic you're using in that game, it builds it into the game system. And then like the AI, like non-playable player, will then know what your tactic is. And then you'll need to completely change tactics because you can't do it anymore.
Oh my God.
Like, I think one of the things I saw, and I think Mark played that same game too, if I'm not mistaken.
Knowing him, he probably did.
Yeah, Mark did play it.
Knowing
yeah.
it, yeah.
No, he did.
Yeah.
I remember on one of his playthroughs on it, they and you could see it like when they're actually like Lavender was saying, like once you get caught, like say for example, if you knew where a key was for a door, and then it'll just randomize where the key's position is then afterwards. It's in an entirely other side of the house.
Oh my God.
Currently, we're struggling with, I'm a big puzzle game horror girly. Ralph is not as much.
Poor Ralph.
And so the biggest thing was he put certain tools down. And I was like, no, you're going to need them later. And he was like, no, it's fine. We can't find them now.
Oh God.
They're in a completely different part of the house. And I'm like, Ralph, I told you we would need the crowbar.
Rule number 1 in any horror game, you don't. Rule number 1, unless it literally breaks on you, you don't get rid of it.
Exactly.
What the fuck?
He plays as many horror games as I do. So it's been kind of like hysterical. Like he plays way more video games than me, but I like primarily do like very specific like genre games that I love. So I'm like used to that more. So it was hilarious because I was like, I look away for 10 seconds. You threw away the crowbar while I was on the toilet, and now we're doomed. Like that's it. We'll never find it again.
Literally, if that doesn't describe the perfect horror trope, like of anything,
Oh,
it's like all I did was
no.
go to the bathroom, and now I'm dead.
Yeah, exactly. And now we're doomed.
And now we're dead.
But I will say, playing off of that in the indie game sphere, I really kind of want to shout out some early systems that really revolutionized horror gaming.
Do it.
Beyond just PC for a moment.
Do it.
So, like, as we were talking, I was like, oh my gosh, I was remembering, like, my real first exposure to a horror game. And it was actually on the Wii.
The Wii?
Which one?
It was called The Calling. And it was on the Wii, and I thought it was so cool because one of my best friends brought it over to my house, and the way that it functioned, it was like a Japanese horror game, and the way it functioned was the Wii remote was a flashlight.
Oh my God.
So everything was in the dark.
I remember this.
I think I remember this one.
Cool. And I thought it was so unique, and I kind of missed having systems like that. Like, and I don't know why they don't do it, have more games like it. And maybe they do. I could be wrong.
They do.
More
I do
games
believe
like that on the Switch.
If I remember correctly, I think that they released a game when they did the the fucking virtual reality PS4, PS5 stuff.
Yeah.
They have that in a certain way, like where you can do that, where one controller is a flashlight, the other controller is your weapon or your hand or whatever, something like that. I think they built on what the Wii did.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think they,
I love that.
I actually specifically remember people whose names that we will not mention when we would go over to the place that does not exist anymore, to that apartment, that they would play that game, if I remember correctly. And I think it was the Jason horror game that they had where you had to escape Jason. I think it was for Friday the 13th. I believe that's the game that they were playing. It was Friday the 13th.
Rest in peace, Friday the 13th, a game.
Yeah.
I miss you dearly.
Yeah. But I believe that they built upon those mechanics that you're talking about from the Wii and did that in virtual reality, which makes it even fucking scarier because you're immersed in that fucking shit.
Yeah, because I thought it was such a cool concept to have a completely dark room and you're going through, like, they have this like web page called the Black Page that like brought you into this supernatural world of the abyss, and it was all black. And it would serve as your flashlight. It would also serve as like your cell phone to like open up if you were trying to call somebody. It served as all these handheld things that you would possibly have in this, you're a person that's just been dropped in a horror world type of scenario. And that's what really got me hooked on the genre, because I thought it was such a cool concept. And I am a sucker for paranormal horror, so I love that it was very like ghost story based.
Yeah, you are.
And like the speaker, it would kind of like create atmospheric horror. Like it would like actually like pull sound through the Wii speaker when it was like close to your face when you were using it as a flashlight.
Yeah.
So fucking cool.
Emotional damage.
So to circle back, since our Crimson was so hyper fixated on this, Dead Space would fall into cosmic horror. And I think cosmic horror works
because it is space.
Yeah.
So.
Cosmic horror, I think, works best when the game refuses to fully explain itself. You know what I mean? Like, the lore just sits there like cursed soup.
Yeah.
It's delicious. It's disturbing. It's going to give you a heart attack. Like, because it's so full of sodium. Like,
oh yeah,
you're powerless, you're insignificant, and you're trapped in unknowable systems. Like, there is no fucking way that cosmic horror cannot make you not feel that way. It just does not happen. Like, you're fucked, and you know it.
I will say this, in every Dead Space game, which I always found was just like, oh, this is so bad, because for those that have at least seen the creatures, you know what I'm talking about. You don't even bother with a gun. You need something that cuts. Piercing rounds will do nothing. But the fact that in the first game, yes. Second game, I believe also, yes. Third, I can't confirm because that one it's kind of foggy from time to time. But you always start the game with nothing, and we're talking about like not even the main weapon or the basic weapon.
Oh my god!
Which, if you're dealing with the creatures that you're dealing with, run. Run, because that is all you can do. It's not even like, we're not even talking about like a level of like zombie where it's like kind of just like slowly like, you know, limping its way towards you. We're talking about like damn near Usain Bolt level of speed running at you type of insanity.
So, you know what makes me laugh, though, about that trope is the fact that, like, there are so many tropes in video games that, like, literally are either going to just scar you for life, or you're just going to sit there and be like, really? Really? Like, seriously? Like, Why the hell am I forced to read notes that were written 5 seconds before somebody's dead?
Oh yeah, that you see that a lot in Dead Space. I'm gonna just say that right.
That's what I mean. And then you have like
and
fucking
not even just one or two either.
no. And then you have flashlights powered by optimism, like Lavender mentioned in her game.
Man.
these are tropes that are just like so ridiculous but so good.
You want to know something funny that actually created? I don't know if it would be considered creating its own trope, but Dead Space kind of let me just say this. If once you play this game, if you were not scared of air vents, you will be after.
Oh my God.
Just like, why do I hear noise in the air vent? And all you hear is just rustling and banging. And just like, okay, no.
Oh my God.
I swear.
That is hilarious to me.
Lavender, I need you to tell me like what scarred you the most about the scariest game you've ever played.
Ooh, that's kind of hard because, like, I think probably it would have to be when I first played Calling because it was my first real, like, gateway into, like, horror video games. And I was, like, 12.
Oh, no.
Okay. And my friend had brought this over, and it was, like, a big deal, right? Because it was, like, a rated T game, and we were like, oh, my God.
Oh,
we're gonna play it, and we're so like edgy, and we were both really in. And like this was before anime was like super super popular too, right? So like we were kind of like the weird. I don't want to call us weirdo kids, but it's the truth. We were like the weirdo kids that were like we watched all the animes off of every single sketchy website we could find. We literally had like anime nicknames for each other. So the fact that we got our hands like on this like rated T Japanese horror game that just came over from Konami for the Wii was like a huge deal, right? And we get this game, and the way that the game functions, and while people kind of say like this is a downfall, I really liked it, and I understand why like older players who were playing it were like, well, it made it like really susceptible to glitch. But the thing about that game was everything was completely powered by motion. So no matter what you were doing, all of the game elements would pop up because of some form of motion you made. So you could literally just be like picking up the remote and something would come at you.
No.
Oh.
That's horrifying.
And it was so great. And like, I would love to see if they ever, and like, I don't know if it was really popular enough for them to ever make a hardcore like remake of this game. But if they ever chose to make a remake for this game for the Nintendo Switch, where I could play it with my 2 Switch controllers on the TV, I would spend whatever money was possible to re-experience that again.
We jumped out a window.
Okay, so
Because I want something to run at me every 5 seconds without actually doing something that warrants it running at me.
my fucking nervous
What was the name of the
system.
game again?
Lav, what was the name of the game again?
Calling.
Calling?
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
I was gonna say my nervous system could not handle that. I'm already
Valid.
living in a state of like at almost all times where I'm just my fists are up, my claws are out, my fangs are ready. Like somebody runs at me, I'm going to put you in the ground. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to make sure that you don't get back up to hurt me. So like, yes, okay, maybe it would be a fun game for me to play because it would get out a lot of aggression, but also fuck no. Absolutely the fuck not. Absolutely the fuck not.
Valid. And what made it more interesting was there were 4 different perspectives you could play from.
Oh God.
Which would give you 4 different story pathways of how the ghost would interact with you. Because the whole idea was that you went on this forum, which is like very Japanese horror, you know. You went on this online community forum that supposedly allows you to talk to ghosts, and all of these 4 characters with their own intentions decide, yeah, I'm going to try this really bad idea.
Oh, God.
And then you end up in literally like a purgatory hellscape.
though.
No.
It was the greatest thing. It really was. And I will never forget my first jump scare in it. And I will always tell people I would pay anything for Konami to bring it over from Wii to the Nintendo Switch.
Give it to us. Now, same question for Crimson. I need to know which game, and I have a feeling I already know what you're going to say, scarred you.
No.
I need to know. Give me your scars.
Scarred me.
Give me your scars.
Well, Dead Space was one of them, but not the one.
Oh!
Never.
The shock.
The one that it's gonna sound stupid, but it was just something about it that really really fucked me up.
Okay.
Which, you know what's funny? It's not even just a horror, but it's more of an action-based game.
Okay.
What was it? Prototype.
I
Prototype.
don't think I've heard of Prototype.
I think I played.
Prototype is more action-based, but the combat, like, people are dying like crazy. It's an infection. It's you could say it's kind of zombie-based, but think of it like Zombies, but Infamous, if you know the game.
Okay.
Okay.
So, but there was something about that. Like, Dead Space fucked me up pretty bad. But there was something about that. I think it's just the way. I think, honestly, it's just the way the monsters were able to move. It was just frightening, like, at the time for me. Like, that what I would say is the first game to catch me like that. Where it's just like, fuck. Like, you know that meme with that sound where it's like, fuck? That was me when I thought I could get away climbing up a building, and all I see is a fucking big-ass monster swinging a haymaker at me. And I'm just like, oh, we're on that type of time today. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that. So, and that shit caught me pretty fucking hard.
Yeah.
Like, after that, I was just like, I think I even ended up having a nightmare at the time.
Oh shit.
That was around the time that, yeah, I had a fucking nightmare. I was on a building, and it was all the monsters were just like that. I saw them from up top one of the buildings, and I was seeing them devour somebody, and I just see one of them look up at me. I'm like, and I just started climbing up the building. I was like, oh fuck.
Oh my god.
And I think I also woke up just before he got a chance to grab me, which I was just like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's
It was
insane.
just, I don't know.
So for me, I mentioned that, the 3 OGs, one of them was Fatal Frame. Now, I played the first one, and I was like, okay, this is fucking creepy. I don't fucking like it. But what fucked me up was Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly. That fucking, fuck you. That game, oh. So basically, we didn't really talk about it too much, but TLDR, Fatal Frame actually is you're fighting ghosts, but the only way that you can see them is through a fucking camera.
That's so fucking cool.
Oh, I remember this one.
Yeah. So well, the second one, the second one forces you to look directly at them to be able to fight them. You could not run away. It literally forced intimacy with the fucking fear instead of letting you avoid it by seeing the fucking shit on your camera and running in the other fucking way. Fuck you. Absolutely the fuck not. It, like, literally, there were some times where, like, you would take a picture and it would just be like, bong, right on top of you. And you're just like, and then you're already in a fucking battle and you're dead. So fuck that game. It gave me nightmares for years, which is funny considering I love photography. And it's probably the reason why I loved the first game so much, because I was like, ooh. And I was into ghosts. I was like trying to be a ghost hunter when I was younger and all sorts of fucking shit. That game very quickly made me go, nope, I will not be doing that anymore. Fuck you. I don't want to play this game anymore. Thank you, please. Bye. Like, no, absolutely the fuck not. No. Alien Isolation was another one that fucked me up too. Not anywhere near as badly as Fatal Frame 2, but Alien Isolation definitely made me just no. Because that thing was able to adapt to you. Fuck you. I hate you. No. I don't like it. But final thoughts. Give me.
I think for me, one of my final thoughts for, I guess, the genre of horror is, I think we're looking pretty good, honestly, for the future of the genre.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of different types of games being released. As some even still revolutionizing the genre itself and really giving us that sort of, I guess for lack of a better words, like getting real intimate with the horror in our faces.
Oh my God.
And just really kind of, I guess really kind of brings out the best of the genre.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Nice. Lavender?
I think in terms of final thoughts, I really appreciate video games are giving a whole layer of horror, a whole new layer of horror. And it's kind of like what we're talking about, like these survival games, these first-person games. Like, I feel like they really created the blueprint for a lot of horror that would then come to pass, and a lot of horror that's being adapted into film. And I think even as much as I do think the Five Nights at Freddy's movies are so fun, I wish they would make an offshoot movie where it's all done from that first-person perspective, because I would just love to see it.
Mm-hmm.
But I really appreciate what it's done for the genre, the way that it's adapted for the mechanics of video games, the way it continues to tell really interesting stories while also staying fresh, staying relevant, but bringing back older games. Like, as you were talking about, for Fatal Frame, for example, like Fatal Frame 2 had an incredible remake. And I think that proves that horror games are still really relevant in the market now.
Agreed.
And I think it says so much for what we enjoy culturally, what we enjoy about the genre. And I'm really excited to see, like, as these YouTube creators, these folks that were actively bringing this content forward and building the popularity around that content, start getting involved with making their own horror games and their own horror movies, seeing where that takes them in the reinvention of the genre just overall.
Yeah, totally agree with you on like all of those points. I will say my final thought is that while we are living in a renaissance of the entire horror genre, we have to thank video games, and particularly Japanese created video games. I'm going to be very specific here because those fucking games are always the creepiest. I don't care. They are. Like, fuck you. Number one. But I will say that the video game genre itself, that the horror genre in video games are what fueled movies now. Because we were able to get away with doing shit in those video games that you would not be able to get away with now if you just put it out there in a movie or a TV show. It would be heavily censored and all sorts of other shit. So thanks to video games, we are able to do some of the things that we can do in horror, in movies, TV, and everything like that because of video games. And they need to you put respect on their names. And that's all I'm going to say on that. So that's my final thought. What do you think, guys? It's time to call it? Time to call it? We're going to go? Because, we got things to do. Got to get ready for all of our events.
No.
Guys, are you there?
I think we're getting just a little bit of static here on your end here, Jade. But try closing us off here because I think we're pretty much got all of those thoughts in.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There we go.
No, yeah, you're right.
All right.
We did. But so if you guys are not following us on all social media, why? You really should be, because like honestly, there's so many amazing and wonderful things that we're putting up on the TikTok, on the Instagram, on the Facebook, like where we're gonna be next, how to get in touch with us, how to give us your feedback on anything that we're talking about. So if you're not following us on social media, you're lame and you're zombie fodder. So on that note, everybody say bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.